Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, over in Britain, they are opening up a whole bunch of things, yet the travel advisory just put out a huge thing saying, do not travel on cruise ships. And their reasoning behind it was, well, they didn't tell us. So that's right. Just as they are about to open up in Britain to 52 different destinations and countries, allowing to travel without having to come in and quarantine or anything like that, the airlines now are opening up and booking more and more places and hotels. The Foreign Office came back and they said that do not sail on cruise ships. And they upgraded that from if you were 65 and older, we recommend you not doing it right now, or I think it was even 75. And now they changed it to you just don't cruise. And we'll be following the situation closely. And this is based on medical advice from the health department, but they did not give any details. They did not give any reasonings why. They didn't go over any of the procedures that all the cruise lines have introduced. They didn't explain, well, why is putting 300 people on an airplane for 8 hours is better than putting 600 people on a huge cruise ship that you can social distance with and have balconies and outdoor space. They didn't come up with anything. And it quite frankly, I honestly feel it's completely irresponsible for them to have done this and at least not even brought up any reasonings or decision. Yet at the same time, they're opening bars, they're opening restaurants, they're opening hotels, you can fly anywhere you want. The airlines are not even keeping that middle seat empty anymore or every second row. No, they're packing them in again like sardines. And apparently that's fine. That's okay. There's no problem there. And they say, don't forget, when you go on your air flight, you're going to have to wear a mask. Well, take a look at all the write-ups and the reports from people who are currently flying right now. While the airlines say you have to wear a mask, they are not enforcing it at all. They do not want the responsibility of the stewardesses or the captains having to enforce people wearing masks on the airplanes. If you have 50 people on an airplane who pull down their mask during their flight and don't wear it, what, you're going to have the two stewardesses on that flight go around and force them to put it on? You're going to arrest 50 people and get that in the media for wearing? No, so there's no enforcement whatsoever. I just had a friend of mine who did a flight in the United States, and he messaged me saying there were 225 people on that flight, and it would be lucky if there was 40 people on that flight who wore their mask. Yet that is okay. Again, I keep saying this over and over again, it always is just the cruise ships. And they always cite the same thing. Well, look what happened on the Diamond Princess. Diamond Princess happened months ago when no one knew what was going on. They handled it incorrectly, and that's why it got so bad. It has nothing to do with procedures nowadays. It has nothing to do with anything at all anymore. At all. So it's old news. It's tired news. And they just keep hitting and hitting and hitting the cruise lines while allowing everything else to go completely unchecked and unscathed whatsoever. Whether it be hotels, theme parks, all-inclusives, now you're allowed to go to there. They are absolutely just only ever putting out total restrictions and total clampdowns only on cruise ships. Nothing else. And it doesn't matter the size. Whether it's a 100-ship cruise ship or a 6,000 passenger cruise ship, it does not matter. They do not differentiate in this recommendation. They just say all cruises across the board. And I'll call you out on it. I'll call you out on it, Foreign Office. That is completely irresponsible, and you've taken really no real thought into that. You just said, we don't want to deal with it right now. Let's just say don't go cruising, and that's it. We'll worry about the spread of the airplanes first, and we'll deal with that as it comes, because the number one spread of the virus in the entire world has been by air. You know, it didn't come from China to North America on a cruise ship. It came by plane. So don't think it's the cruise ships that were spreading everything. It's very, very little out of everything out there in the world that came from a cruise ship. The majority, by vast majority, came by flights. But they're not going to tell you that. They're not going to report on that daily or have bans on airplanes, because that would devastate the economy. And that's the only reason. So it's not because it's safer. It's because it's detrimental to what they need to do. So yeah, it's completely, again, like I say, irresponsible. They are not, they could literally, the governments of the world right now could literally bankrupt billion-dollar companies and turn millions of jobs gone just because they don't want to deal with it right now. And that is a very scary proposition. So shame on you, Foreign Office, especially coming out with no explanations, no nothing. And even the cruise lines have said, what are you talking about? Tell us why. Tell us what's going on. You didn't even put a date on it. You just said until further notice. Well, thanks. Thanks for being the most vague report ever, telling you not to use our industry. Thanks for that, because that is very helpful in these times. So yeah, as you can see, I'm a little riled up by it. It is ridiculous that they are opening all these things. They're not holding people accountable for masks on flights, but flying, go ahead. Airlines can pack them in now as tight as you want. You don't have to social distance. You don't have to do any of that stuff. Don't worry about it. Flights are fine. Hotels are fine. Everything's good. Just stay away from those nasty cruise ships. If I could swear on this channel and get away with it, I'd be swearing at them right now, because that is total irresponsibility. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. Sorry for the rant, but when I see reports like that with no explanations, no reasonings, no nothing, and they're doing the complete opposite in the exact same timeline, that gets me riled up. And it's just, once again, that pre-notion in their heads that cruise ships are bad, and that's it. And that's all they're going to talk about. That's all they ever want to say. Cruise ships are bad. They spread look at the norovirus on the cruise ship. Norovirus spreads on cruise. Oh, it's horrible on cruise ships. They're inundated every year with it. It's 0.14% of all, not 1.4, 0.14% of all noroviruses in North America, in the UK, in Asia, in Australia, come from cruise ships. You are more likely, in fact, to catch the norovirus in your own home than you are on a cruise ship. But you don't hear that. They never say that. It's always cruise ships bad. And I'm starting to get a little tired of it. There are people out there now who have lost their jobs. If you work in the travel industry, here's a little thing. If you're a travel agent, you only get paid once people cruise, say, or travel. And there's been no travel at all. So travel agents are making $0. And a lot of the times, because they're on commission, they don't get any payments from the governments or anything. So this is just pure lost income. So let's say you go 5 months where you're making no money, and then all of a sudden people decide, well, you're allowed to cruise again, you're allowed to book travel again. Okay, well, I'm going to book for October of next year. They still have to wait till next year to get paid. And so people are going people I know personally have left the travel industry altogether because they say they can't survive. There's no way they can survive. And how many people are going to lose their jobs and lose everything out there just because the governments don't want to help or don't want to react, don't even want to allow one single ship to test the waters. They just want a blanket statement out there and say goodbye. So 3 months down the road, if things haven't changed and millions of people are now out of work, I totally blame the governments of the world. Congratulations, you are successful in tearing down the world economy. And not because you've given us any reasons. If this was Florida, yes, we shouldn't be cruising in Florida. You know what? You probably shouldn't be flying neither. You probably shouldn't be going to Disney World neither or Universal Studios, but we are. But only the cruise ships are being held back. Wow. This turned into a rant, and I apologize. I was listening to the broadcast from the Foreign Office, and literally they said nothing in that broadcast other than don't take a cruise ship. It is mind-boggling right now. It's absolutely mind-boggling. So I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think. Real cruisers out there, you guys, I know we need to be doing this safely. We need to make sure everyone's going to be comfortable and safe in what we're doing. Put the procedures in place. But don't you just think that they just pick on the cruise lines and only cruise lines? When was the last time you heard them say anything about new procedures or restrictions on planes? The airlines just opened up that we're not going to keep the middle seat free. We're not going to keep every second row free anymore. We're just going to pack them in. That's okay. No one says anything. Apparently that's fine. Why? Why is that fine? I don't understand. Well, I'm going on a rant again. I'm going to sign off. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. You want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel blogs from around the world, and the odd rant like this one, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.